Welcome back to another episode of Carnage Unleashed, presented by. Wow, I just completely lost my train of thought there. I'm not going to lie. Presented by Black Swamp Productions and, of course, your friends over at Carnage Media. I am your host, Clayton Scalina, joined, as always, by my wonderful co-hosts, Kev Nevick and Wade Anthony. Gentlemen, we're back at another Monday. How's everybody doing?
Doing great.
Ooh, I can't wait. We've got another. This is a double. We've got a recap and a preview all in one. We got a full house here today. We got some fighter interviews coming up. I feel great. About as good as one can feel on a Monday, Clayton. I'll put it that way.
You viewers are in for a treat today. I'll tell you what. Like Kev said, we got a wide variety of guests coming on the show today. I'm very excited.
It's another fight week.
Always a fight week here.
Always.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't want to keep all of our fighters waiting. So should we do this now, Clayton, Wade? You guys ready for me to bring everybody on here?
Oh, we're always ready, Kev. Send them in.
All right. Welcome. Here come our fighters. We'll give everyone a proper introduction once we get them all on screen. I'm going to lean on you, Clayton and Wade there. Hello. All right. Full house. Now, get your questions in the comments below. If you got questions, thoughts, fire away. I'll be monitoring those. We'll get those in the chat, and we will ask your questions to the fighters as well. So, Clayton, it's all you, sir. Welcome, everybody.
All right. I'll go ahead and take it away. Like Kev said, if you guys have any questions to our live viewers, please make sure to drop them in the comments. But Sydney, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. The last time we saw you was August 26th in Findlay for the Renegade Rumble 6. What have you been doing since then? You're coming off of a second round TKO win there.
Nothing I don't normally be doing. I train 3 times a day. I'd say probably since we're doing boxing, we've been working on more strictly hands, but we still do always throw the kicks or the grappling in there. But he's been just having me focus mostly hands.
So over at Demolition Fight Team, what kind of people have you been working with to get ready for this weekend?
All different sorts. I got Faith Nichols here, which is nice now because she's in my weight. But other than that, I just go with all the boys. So the guys, that's what I got to work with here.
Just another day at the office, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm actually going to jump into Connor here. Connor, we saw you last weekend on the Mindless Mania show. How are you feeling, sir? That was a heck of a fight, man. I'll tell you what.
I'm feeling good. I had a great time. That was probably one of my funnest fights I've ever done, but I'm feeling good and healthy and ready to go for this weekend.
So did you take Sunday off or did you just jump right back into it?
No days off. I'm always right back into it. Got to get better every day.
Perfect. What kinds of things have you guys over at Fightopia been working on this week?
It's been very boxing heavy these past couple weeks, especially with me. I got a lot of boxing coming up, especially with last week and this week. So working a lot of hands, a lot of head movement, footwork, all the basics.
All right. Lauren, I think it's your turn now. We're going to jump to you. Lauren, I don't think I've ever met you before, so why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Lauren Flynn. I'm originally from Tennessee, and I moved to Ohio about 10 years ago. And I train at Grove City, BJJ, and Resolve Fitness in downtown Columbus.
Awesome. How did you get your start in combat sports? What's your background look like?
Yeah, so I've always been a big UFC fan, so I wanted to jump right into it. I jumped right into MMA. And so I've been doing that for about 2 years, and I've been boxing for about a year.
And you said out of Grove City, correct? Grove City BJJ?
Yep.
What kinds of things have you guys been working on up there to get ready for this weekend?
Yeah, so I've been training at Resolve Fitness in downtown. We just been working like crazy every day. We just went 5-0 this weekend in Michigan. I got the championship belt. So, yeah, my confidence is way up for this weekend.
So you fought last weekend then too, just like Connor?
Yep, last Saturday.
How do you manage a quick turnaround? Is there anything special you do, or is it just another day at the office?
Yeah, it's pretty much just another day at the office. I took yesterday off, and I'm right back to it today.
That's what we like to hear. Always like to see people staying active for sure. And speaking of active, I think we're going to jump to Mr. Backflip himself, Bryce Childs out of Spartan Boxing in Lima. Bryce, how's everything going? We didn't get to see you last weekend, but
Yeah,
how's training been?
it's been great. I train every single day. I just get better as much as I can.
So the big question that I know everybody's going to be asking is, are we going to see the backflip after a W on Saturday?
Of course, you're going to see the backflip. That's me. I'm going to win. I'm going to do a backflip. That's what you expect.
So before you get to the backflip, you got to win the bout, right? So what kinds of things have you guys been working on down in Lima?
A lot of head movement. I don't want to get hit, obviously. A lot of head movement, a lot of combinations. Just keep up the pace.
I see that you're joined by your head coach to your left. Coach, how are we doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
What have you been thinking of Bryce's progress so far leading up to this weekend?
He's been doing a great job. He's probably one of the hardest working young men that I've found in 50 years of coaching boxing.
Coach, what's your background? What made you even want to start Spartan Boxing?
Well, I'm related to Lonnie. Lonnie owns the gym here. And like I said, I started boxing way young. And I wanted to come over and start helping. And that's what I did. I came over and I've been helping coach the last about year and a half.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. Like to hear the sport growing for sure. But Preston, I think that leaves you, sir. How have you been?
Pretty good, just working.
What kinds of things have you been working on then?
A lot of hands. Been doing a lot of boxing lately. Just trying to get my hands ready for this match and the following weekend.
Where do you train out of? I can't remember.
I train out of Young Guardians in St. Mary's here.
Okay. How's everything at Young Guardians? What kinds of people have you been working with?
Good. All the guys up here are really technical, you know. Been working with John Bales and Ricky Blue, and been getting some rounds in with those guys and just kind of polishing my game.
That's a good room to be in for sure when prepping for a big weekend like this weekend. Once again, Ruthless Made Promotions, Wapakoneta, Ohio. Before I turn it over to my co-host, Wade, I want to remind our viewers, if you guys have questions, make sure to shoot them our way. Ask your fighters your questions. But Wade, I think you're up.
I am up, and I am going to throw you guys for a little doozy here. So I got some breaking news. Bryce, I don't know if you know this or not, but Clayton broke his hand. So he will not be fighting in the main event, and you have a random opponent that they haven't gotten yet. So how does that make you feel going into this weekend? Such a short notice.
I feel like it's very disappointing. I really wanted to fight Quentin, but I feel like you can throw anybody at me and not step up to the task.
Yeah, so that does it change your plans at all, or is it just stay working?
Stay working. Once I find my opponent, I'm going to do my research like I always do, and I'll move off of that.
Awesome. That's great. It always makes it a little bit difficult when you are planning for somebody and then something out of your control happens, and now you gotta be prepared for someone new. So it's good that you can stay calm and just assess it and just stay working and just let your training do its talking for you when the time comes. And yeah, it's very unfortunate Quentin can't fight. I always love to watch him fight, and you two would be a great matchup. You guys would have had an awesome time. It would have been amazing. So good luck to you this weekend, and hopefully that change an opponent, they can get you an opponent for this weekend as well. Yeah. But I want to throw it over to Connor. He's going to be a everyday person here. being so active, you're gonna be on like every Monday. You're gonna be a steady guy here. You like being so active?
I do. I mean, this is what I love to do. So, like I said, I think I said last time I was on here, if I could do it every weekend, I would. And now it's kind of set up to where I do it every weekend. So I'm having a great time with it.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like being so young, active, and just getting in there and getting that experience is gonna do wonders for your career. So kudos to
Taking
you for that.
advantage of my youth, that's for sure.
Yes, for sure.
While we're here, Wade, we've got a question from the audience. Gates Sniper, some of you guys probably heard word of him. Gates the Sniper Cook is what I meant to say. See, he's already switched over Gates Sniper on here. What adjustments are you looking to make, Connor?
I'm assuming he means that in regards that I've already fought Preston before. But, I mean, it worked out well for me last time, so I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And I feel like the only thing I got caught with last time were kicks. There's no kicking this time, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
I hear it. Yeah, Zach mentions you tried to get into the heavyweight kickboxing tournament this time.
I tried, but I was denied. But it's okay. I'll try next time.
We'll put some weights in your pockets for the next one.
I just need alternates. I heard there's alternate spots, so just give me a call.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask Sydney a question. You, the last time you're in MMA. With that win, has it built you more confidence going into this fight at all, or do you like?
It's like a mix up. So like I'm always confident, but at the same time, I never really like think about my confidence. All I'm thinking about is like what I'm doing while I'm in there. Like when I'm in here and I'm in like even practicing, it's really just like, what can I get off new this time? Like if I move this way, will they move that way? So like really I'm just like playing around the whole time. I'm not really thinking about myself or nothing like that. I'm just having fun doing me.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's like you're kind of downloading information as you go and just playing it off of that, and so that's a test to like a lot of work that you put in.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Lauren, I wanted to ask you a question. Since you're new here and we haven't really seen you fight at all, you said you jumped straight into MMA. So is MMA all you've done, or have you done like boxing and like BJJ and all that as well?
Yeah, so I have 2 MMA fights, and I've also done 2 amateur boxing matches. So yeah, like I got the belt this weekend, and then my last fight was in June, and it was a split decision loss. So I'm 1-1 in boxing, and I'm ready to get the win, the next win.
Awesome. That's amazing. Congrats on getting that belt. Yeah, that has to boost your confidence a lot going to this fight. Awesome. Preston, you're just so calm and collective. It's crazy. So going into this week, you just feel like all your hard work is going to pay off. Like, is that calm demeanor? Is that what you like to have going into your fight week?
Always. I'm a very excitable person. I'm pretty reserved. I just kind of go with the flow. I like to fight and like to stay active.
That's awesome. But yeah, that calm demeanor probably helps with nerves and stuff going into a fight. So that probably plays in your favor.
Yeah, easier when you enjoy it.
That's true. When you love something, it doesn't feel like work, and you can do it. Clayton, you got any question?
Oh, I'll sneak in here if you don't mind. We've got another one from the audience here, one for Lauren. We'll get her queued up. Lauren, you've done boxing and MMA. Any interest in kickboxing? Now let's look at this guy. He is working. He is in the audience actively working. But I'll let you answer that, Lauren. Any interest in kickboxing?
Absolutely. I would love to.
Well, there you have it. Nice. Thank you, Zach, for the question. We appreciate it. Sorry, Clayton, I stepped on your toes there. What did you have?
No, you're good. Mr. Promoter Man had to get his moment there for sure. But Preston, I actually wanted to stick with you. Walk us through what your fight week would look like. Are you doing anything different in the gym? Are you taking it lighter? Are you having maybe a couple extra sparring sessions? What does your fight week look like?
Yeah, so we've been actually upping the conditioning quite a bit the last couple weeks. Just this time of the year, it's pretty dry, so try and get that extra little bit of gas in the tank and pushing ourselves at practice.
Right. Conditioning is always one thing you'll have control over, right?
Yes, sir.
And Connor, I think I'm going to flip that to you. Every week's a fight week for you now. So do you switch anything up, or is when you go from boxing to boxing, is it pretty much the same thing?
These past couple weeks have flown together really, really well because they've both been boxing weeks. But I've got most of my hard rounds and hard days out of the way, especially since it's fight week now. It's more technique based and getting in the right mindset, and getting ready for Saturday.
So when you're getting ready for a back-to-back weekend like this, how important is rest to you? Like, how do you approach recovery after a training session?
I like to do if I'm recovering and resting, not practicing, I just do stuff that chills out my mind and mellows me out. That's just sitting at home on the couch with my dog. That's what I do. That chills me out, gets me in a good mindset. That's what I'll do from there. But like I said, I'm taking full advantage of my youth, so I don't rest as much as others probably, but I'll get there.
I saw you got a new dog a couple weeks ago. How's he been?
He's good, but he has his moments. I mean, he likes to try to get under my skin for sure, but he's still my dog. So,
Of course. Bryce, I'm gonna flip it to you. You were supposed to go back to back. You were scheduled last week, so is it a pretty similar transition, just kind of a low key, mellow week, or are you guys getting a couple hard rounds in still?
I mean, later in the week it'll start to slow down a little bit, but I'm still working as hard as I can today and tomorrow. Get as much work.
Go ahead, keep going.
That's it.
Oh, all right. Well, I was going to ask you, I know that BJ Barnett also trains over at Spartan Boxing in Lima. How has he helped you get ready for this weekend at all?
He hasn't been here that much, but he when he is, we get some good work in together. He's a great guy.
Perfect. Iron sharpens iron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sydney, I'm going to jump to you. It's been about 6 weeks since we've last seen you. How have you progressed through those 6 weeks? Have you had like a couple hard weeks here and there and then a rest? What's it kind of look like for you over at Demolition?
So I was supposed to have a box for Golden Gloves, but the girl ended up backing out against me. And I've been really hungry and everybody keeps backing out. So coach favored me and he's let me spar quite a bit since then. So I've just been getting hard rounds after hard rounds, but it's been nice. It's been what I wanted. And he said that I'm deserving because I'm in here all the time. So he let me get some good rounds in. And there's like, I've got to have Connor's coach, Chelsea. She's came over here once too. And I got a kickbox with her the one time. So it's new faces keep coming in. And now it's nice to get work with other people from other gyms too.
Now, you and I have talked a little bit off camera in the past. It seems like you sometimes have a hard time finding opponents. Is that something that you kind of struggled with throughout your career?
So at first I wasn't like having that big of an issue with our weight class as being lighter too. It's harder just to find girls in general because there's like not as many girls in our weight class. But ever since my last MMA fight, it's like every coach has offered me like multiple different times and nobody will accept the fights. So that's how that's been going.
Everybody's nervous, right? Everybody saw that liver kick and nobody wants any.
For real. And then he had a 3-0 girl we were going to compete against in Pennsylvania, but he doesn't like how you have to have the shin guards and no ground and pound to the head. And he's like, that's not even worth your time. We'll find somebody else.
Got to try and stay active, right? Got to take every fight you can. So, Lauren, you're in a very similar boat to a lot of other people in here. You fought last weekend. How has your week been? Have you had some hard rounds? Have you been taking it light? What's your week looked like?
Yeah, so like I was saying, I took yesterday off and I was back in the gym today. I did boxing and I did jiu-jitsu, and yeah, I did some sparring today and it was pretty good.
How do you approach recovery with back-to-back weekends? Do you like ice? Are you more of a heat kind of person? What's your secret?
Yeah, I actually took an ice bath yesterday, and tomorrow I'm going to do some cryotherapy for the first time. I'm pretty sore.
Just out of curiosity, has anybody in here tried cryo before?
What is that?
Nobody?
Actually,
I don't know what that is.
So you
Isn't that
put
how
on...
they killed the bad guy in Terminator 2, Clayton? Oh wait, you weren't there for that. Sorry, that's too old for you. Never mind.
Well, yeah,
I'll
that's
shut
an
up.
80s reference, Kev. Come on, you know better than
Yeah, what am I doing here?
that. But you put on like gloves, a hat, and then I don't even know what else you put on, but it gets to like negative 160 or something like that for like 3 minutes.
actually, Dylan's talked about that before. I know what that is now. I've actually wanted to try that.
I heard it's really great for you, but negative 160.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I did ice baths a couple times when I was in high school after a tough soccer practice, and that's about as far as I'll go.
Yep.
Bryce, I'm actually going to jump back into you. Do you have any secret recovery tips that you've been working on over in Lima? Is there anything special you do?
I get a lot of sleep. I sleep like I rest well.
Yeah, that's underrated. Sleep is a big factor for recovery.
Just a quick reminder to our viewers, make sure to keep sending the questions our way. Gates, I know you're still watching. Keep sending those questions our way. But Wade, I think I'm going to shoot it back to you.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Gates, man. This guy, he's got part-time credentials. I remember he was at a live press conference too. Remember you were there, I think, Clayton. Gates was firing away questions. He is a part-time journalist. Do not let him fool you. Man of many hats, much like my bald self. I've got one. I don't know if we want to just go around and ask everybody. We've got one from YouTube, from Noobs. Any fight day rituals? So any sort of we talked about the recovery, maybe any pre-fight habits, anything to keep the jitters away? Maybe we'll start with Bryce. We got Bryce in the pilot seat right now. Bryce, anything you like to do on fight day to stay cool?
I pray a lot. Like I just lend everything to God. Let Him driver.
Awesome.
I like, I've been hearing that one a lot. Actually, the last couple of weekends. I think there's probably a lot of wisdom in that. I will take it. Well, Connor, same question for you. Anything you do to stay loose or to stay calm fight day?
I don't tend to get very nervous during fight days. This is what I do. I enjoy doing it. So being at any fight show, if I'm fighting or watching, I got a smile on my face, feel at home. So just really enjoying the moment, because you train all these hours for at most, a couple minutes in the ring or cage. So I enjoy every second of it.
That makes sense. I makes perfect sense. I get a little nervous, but I have to talk for about 4 straight hours while you guys are fighting. So I get real nervous, to be honest. Preston, what about you? You seem like you're already pretty calm, but do you do anything to stay that way on fight day?
I'm right there with Connor. I show up ready. I put the hard work in beforehand to be ready. And, like you said, it's a short time you get to be in the ring or the cage, and you got to make the most of it. So I like to go on a walk, but I wouldn't say that's much of a ritual,
That's fair. I'm gonna ask everyone that same question, but while we're here, Gates put in another one for you, Preston. Did you agree with the decision in Indiana?
That's a tough question. I don't think I did enough to throw the cold water on the match and say I did win it, but I think it was a close fight, and I'm excited to run it back this weekend.
That's a great answer. I will say that's the correct answer. Let's see. We got a little out shuffled. I think I think I still need to ask Sydney and Lauren this. We got Sydney. Do we ask you your pre-fight ritual yet? I'm sorry. We got the deck shuffled.
So I would probably just say I like to listen to like certain music rather than like more of like music I can dance to. So like some Michael Jackson or something that I can just get my feet moving. So when I'm like in the ring or I'm in the cage, like really while I'm in there, I'm just dancing while I'm doing my thing. And then other than that, I'd probably just say I still continue to eat light after I weigh in because I don't like to get in there feeling heavy or sloshy or anything. I like to just eat some fruit, rehydrate my body, and then I can smash after I get my win.
I like that. But yeah, I used to listen to Michael Jackson pregame back when I played basketball. So I love that one. Lauren, what about you? Any pregame rituals, anything you do to stay loose on fight day?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I like to listen to a lot of music, a lot of Eminem, Tupac, and 50 Cent.
That'll get you hyped.
You can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong there. I've got one more before I hand it back over to my bosses here. I've got one more from Gates, the sniper cook. Bryce, this one's pretty simple. He wants to know what round.
Second or third. Those are usually my best round. Second or third.
I like it. I like it. Well, for now, I yield my time, gentlemen. Of course, if you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, we still got plenty of time to ask your questions to our fighters here. So get them in there. I got my eye on you. We'll get you on screen. But Wade, Clayton, I yield my time back to you, gentlemen.
Okay. I'm going to stir the pot a little bit. I just want to see for the two matchups here, what makes you think that you're going to win? We can start with Preston.
I got some experience in that first match that I can take into that second match, use my range a little better, and just bring my A game.
Yeah, I feel like you got some get backs that you want to do.
Yeah, I was supposed to have a match this last weekend too, but that one fell through. I was hoping to get back on that one, get my get back on this week, and keep this train going in the right way.
All right, Connor.
Pretty simple. I did it once already, and I feel like I can do it again. So, plain and simple.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. If you got the W4, you can do it. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm waiting to see that fight. Okay, let's go on to Sydney.
Well, I always have the highest advantage of Gary Young. I mean, you're coached by the best person. How are you not going to win?
Fair.
And then other than that is just I can crack. So if a grown man can tell me that I hit hard and we need to stop for a second, then that's all I need.
We got that power behind your hand. Okay. Lauren.
I would say I think my heart is gonna get it done for me. I got a lot of heart and just the intense desire to win. I really want to win.
That's fair. Yeah, that can carry a lot of people. You just bite down on that mouth guard and go.
Yep.
It sounds like there's going to be some good fights, and I am excited to be there firsthand to watch them all.
Oh, I know. Well, Clayton, are you with me this weekend? I know that I have the best seats in the house. I can't wait to call these fights this weekend.
I am not, unfortunately. Bowling Green football is home, so I will be on the field trying to rally up the troops there. Hopefully they can actually give Akron a game this week. So,
well, hey, when duty calls, I respect that. We love football on Bite Size Sports as well. Shameless plug. while we're here. And then, speaking of shameless plugs, I'm going to give a shout out. Dylan Budka's in the chat, taking a break. He either just landed in Vegas somewhere. So, guys out here getting ready to practice. So we appreciate you stopping by. So again, thank you. Zach says, Sydney, quit beating up Gates. I don't know anything about that. That's between Zach and Gates. You guys don't, hey, listen, I'm not a fighter. I'm just a blabbermouth. All right. So that's it. That's our comments update for the time being. Wade, Clayton, back to you.
I actually have a question for Bryce. So, Bryce, I know that the promoter is in the chat right now, I believe, Dylan, the Mindless Hulk Budka, and the new 178-pound champ, Gates Cook, is also here. Is that a match that you'd like to run back? Because you did hand him his first boxing defeat on Mindless Mania Boxing Series.
I mean, I respect Gates like a lot, and I feel like it's a great fight every time we get in the ring, but I am 2-0 against him, so I feel like I've done my part of the task. So maybe again, but yeah.
That's a respectable answer. But before we move on too far, Sydney, we're going to put you on the spot here. You talked about eating some fruit after you're done weighing in, stuff like that. What does a day of eating look like for you on fight day?
So fight day is that fruit. That's it. Some water. Because I didn't have to cut weight at first, but thank God I'm finally done with all that. I'm finally gaining all the weight I need to gain and everything like that. So I normally stop eating around 5 the night before. And then I'm starving until time to weigh in, and then just water and fruit.
Do you have a favorite fruit that you go for?
Watermelon, just because it's got the most water in it.
That makes sense. You definitely want to get that back in your system after cutting some weight. Lauren, I'm going to ask you the same question. Do you have a favorite meal? Any pre-fight foods that you like to have?
I haven't had to cut weight yet. I walk around at what I fight at, so I just pretty much eat whatever I want. It's like chicken stir fry or something like that.
Do you think there are advantages in that and not cutting weight?
I think so. I'm not drained or anything. I feel normal, feel good.
I know that's definitely a big topic up in the upper parts of the combat sports world right now. So it's interesting to see somebody on the opposite side of that. Connor, I'm going to go ahead and shoot it your way. Is there anything special you like to eat on fight day?
Well, it depends what weight I'm fighting at. If I'm fighting at 25, I'll eat nothing. But if I'm fighting
that's a fair
40,
answer.
If I'm up in the 40s like I've been, then I can really, I eat whatever. I don't really have nothing pre-fight that I eat, but post-fight, I'm a pickle boy, dude. I eat Waffle House. That's what it is every time post-fight. So,
how in the world do you eat that?
What are you talking about over there?
I'll eat Waffle House, but like before a fight.
No, not before. I said post.
After.
Oh, after. I didn't hear that part. I was like, before a fight, that's bold, Connor. That is bold.
No.
I'll put after 9:30 at night Waffle House against any food in America right now.
I was gonna say, man,
about that.
You can go viral for duking your pants.
Never before.
Preston, I think you're up. Any pre-fight foods? Anything special that you like to have before or after your fights?
No, sir. I like to eat after weigh-ins and kind of just go with what my body's telling me. Sometimes
do you have to cut any weight at all?
It depends. It fluctuates a little bit. Right now I'm sitting about 150, just shy of 150. So a couple pounds, but nothing major.
I gotcha. Yeah. Bryce, I think that leaves you. Any special foods, anything you like to eat before or after you're done fighting?
Well, after weigh-ins, it is Subway every single time. No matter where we're at, we will make the drive to the Subway. And after I win, I get a cookie. I eat a cookie every time.
I love it.
That is a
And
great motivator right there, for
a
sure.
certain type of cookie?
It motivates me to win. It's a good cookie.
What kind of cookie?
Usually a Subway cookie,
Like a certain flavor? You pick whichever one you feel?
probably chocolate chip.
Oh, basic.
Classic.
That's classic.
I dig the confidence. You buy the celebratory cookie while you're buying the pre-fight lunch. I love that. And you just I got this prize lined up.
Yeah, like it gives me more motivation to win.
I love it.
All right, Wade, I think I'm going to kick it back your way.
Well, I ain't got much more else to ask. I appreciate everybody's time, and I think we can start going around and getting your shout outs to everybody.
Before we go, everybody's got to give us a prediction. Bryce, we
Yeah.
got yours already, but we're going to start with you, Sydney. What is your prediction for Saturday night in Wapakoneta, Ohio?
Honestly, I haven't even really thought about the prediction just because I'm so excited to fight it anyway, because this will be the first time I get to fight a southpaw, so it's going to be good for me in future fights. But I'd probably say third round or decision.
Okay. Preston, we're going to go ahead and shoot it to you. I think people are dropping left and right now. Oh,
we
there we go.
We got him back.
All right, Preston, I'm going to put you on hold just for a quick second. Lauren, what is your official prediction for Saturday night?
I would say, you know what? I haven't got a knockout yet, so I think I'm pretty due for a knockout. I'll say second round.
All right, I like it.
Ooh,
I like it.
Love it.
Preston, you're up, my man. What is your official prediction for Saturday night?
I'm predicting fight of the night. I say we go all 3 rounds, and it's entertaining all 3.
That's what we like to hear. That's
first.
what the guys who sit ringside want to hear, for sure. Sure.
Absolutely.
Connor.
Let me lob my cliche line about how I'm glad they don't pay me to judge the fights. That's what we're going for, you know. That's my 5-star right there.
Connor, you're up. What is your official prediction for Saturday night?
I kind of like the way Preston put it. Go all the rounds, have fight of the night. I think I'm pretty notorious for having some of the best fights on the night. I don't know if they hand out awards for those, but I'm pretty sure last Saturday me and RJ had to have gotten it last Saturday. So I think me and Preston will get it this Saturday as well. But like I said, I've done it once and I'll do it again. And I think I'll get the win, but I think it'll be the most entertaining fight of the entire card.
That's what we like to hear. Two confident guys who want to put on a fight of the night is definitely a recipe for a good time. And Bryce, it's all up to you. You don't have an opponent yet, so this makes it a little tricky. But what is your prediction for Saturday night?
I say third round.
All right.
Third round knockout.
There we go. Aggressive. I like it. But like Wade said, I think that's pretty much everything we had for you guys. Thank you guys for your time. We're going to go around the horn real quick and give you guys a second to shout out your sponsors. So we're going to go reverse order here. Bryce, anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors, anything like that?
I want to shout out my coach Miles and my coach Mandy. They're great coaches, and I wouldn't win.
All right. From Bryce Chili Dog Childs, ladies and gentlemen. Connor, you're up, my man. Any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out?
I won't shout out my teammates by name this time. I'll save you the trouble. But all my teammates and coaches at Fightopia, obviously, my friends and family that support me for every fight in this entire journey, and then my sponsors, Redneck Party Bus and the Gentleman's Chair here in Piqua.
Awesome. Preston, any sponsors, anybody?
Just want to shout out my team and coaches and Wasion Boxing Club for hosting me the other day. And then Hometown Pizza, Hometown Axe Throwing, and Dual Pressure Commercial Hood Cleaning.
Awesome. Lauren, anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors, anything like that?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my family for always having my back, and my boxing coach, Logan Gilbreth and Ryan Dickey.
Alrighty. And last but certainly not least, Sydney, any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out?
Like everybody else said, my coaches, my family, my teammates, all of them, they're the ones that really get me here. But my sponsors, Diamond Long and YG, Natasha, go check out her OnlyFans. She's bad. Her link's on my bio on Instagram if you want to go check her out. Daddy and Kay's Pizza in Fostoria. They've got the best cheesecake. You really need to go try her cheesecake. I swear on that stuff. Glendale's Love. There's a page on Facebook. Tabby sells really good smelling candles. The candle I literally even just had in my room with the cap off, and you could smell it, and it wasn't even lit. So you need to also go check those out. And Alyssa Huffman's photos. She does really good too.
Absolutely. Alyssa Huffman is a regular at some of the Mindless Mania Boxing Series cards we work at. So make sure that you guys go check her out on Facebook. But with that, I think that's everything we had. Thank you guys for coming on, and we will see you guys. We'll have all of you guys on again for sure. So we will see you guys next time. And good luck Saturday to all of you.
Yeah,
Yes,
come
good
on
luck,
back
everybody.
anytime, guys. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Always a good segment when we can have some fighters on, right, guys? Add some
Absolutely.
variety. Gives the fans a break from seeing us three for a little bit.
Yeah, just gets to highlight the local fighters and fighters in around this area, and just kind of give them a platform to promote themselves. So it's always great.
It's always so much fun, and we thank you again, those of you who chimed in the comments. And as I always say, I love my lurkers too. So those of you who, you didn't have a question for our fighters, that's totally great too. We love having you here. And guys, I think Connor gave us the perfect segue into our next segment, because he made a fine case for Fight of the Night, Mindless Mania Boxing Series 7. Did he and RJ Flores not? I mean, I'm a bit biased here. Those of you who watched the pay-per-view knew that I picked it to be Fight of the Night ahead, so I got to just I'm not objective here, so I'm kind of loading the deck in my favor. But Wade, what did you think, Wade? What was your Fight of the Night?
I was gonna say, because it was just like someone lit a match under both of their asses, and they just went throwing, blah, 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 and it never stopped. All 3 rounds. It was my Fight of the Night. It was so much action. It was nice. What about you, Clayton?
Yeah, Clayton, what'd you think?
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that one as Fight of the Night, right? Like, if you look up like the gold standard for an entertaining fight, that was it. It was action-packed from start to finish, lots of good exchanges. Both guys got some good shots in there. Close fight, but it's just so hard to argue with such an entertaining fight from start to finish. But gentlemen, I gotta say, my performance of the night was a little bit different. I did not give it to Connor or RJ, but they did take home Fight of the Night for me. My performance of the night went to our new champion, Gates, the Sniper Cook. Those body shots that he was landing, especially in rounds 2 and 3. I had Gates winning rounds 2 and 3. Round 1 was a little bit closer, but I thought Quentin had the slight edge. Gates, just those shots to the body, man. That I'm shocked that Quentin never went down. That just shows how tough of a guy he is, right? But yeah. I'm very, very excited to see who he's going to defend his title against. That was probably the best version of Gates Cook that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and that fight, unfortunately, is what the fight that Quentin Shear broke his hand in, and because he was going to have 2 back-to-back main events, but he did. That fight was nice. It was very technical. Obviously, you're going to get that from Gates. Gates is just long, like he's so tall for that weight class, and so lengthy. Like he's just, like his nickname says, he snipes. He's throwing that jab out there, and he's picking you apart. And that got him that championship belt.
It was a great performance. Hard to argue with that selection, Clayton, for performance of the night. You know, another fight that I want to highlight, we want to talk about, we got to see some heavyweights, AJ Mattia, Juan Silva. Now, Wade, I don't know. I'm either about to do a very vague tease that we'll have to pay off later, in which case you all should like and subscribe so you'll get it. You'll get this information that right now I'm a gatekeeper of. But Wade, I believe uh and I'm sure we'll see Juan Silva again in a boxing promotion because we've seen him already and he's a great fighter and I look forward to that. But I believe AJ has something lined up in his future that we may be seeing. Do you know? I'm assuming if I know that you also know, but am I allowed to talk about this right now?
I would say go ahead and say it.
All right. I believe that AJ is going to be fighting in Carnage Fight Series. Is that now, correct me if I'm wrong, is that going into our heavyweight tournament at CFS 4? Is that the plan?
That is the plan. The plan is to get him in there on the heavyweight tournament.
That's fantastic. Now, again, I need some correcting here because Wade and Zach run CFS, so I just want to make sure I'm up to date. Are both tournaments full? We have the 170 I know is full. I think we've still got a couple spaces for alternates, but I'm not sure. I assume the same about heavyweight. I assume we still have alternate spots
Yes,
open, but other than that, are we locked in?
I think we're locked in. I talked to Zach today, I believe. Days meshed together, but I believe we've got our last heavyweight fighter in there, and both of them are locked up. We do need a couple alternates in each one, just in case people back out. Wow, that was a tongue twister for me. But yeah, so they're going to be full. We're going to be planning a like a reveal for the brackets and do a lottery pool. So keep a lookout on that. So make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Twitter, all the socials. So we'll announce when we're going to do it, and we'll be doing a lottery draw live.
And now, while we're talking about that, I think I might want to just go ahead and plug this as well because I know Zach is in the chat and that he's working. We're always thinking a few events ahead. So CFS 5, we also have 115, 125 pound women's tournaments going on. So that's another thing to reach out to us about. I would say, listen, if you reach out to me, I'll be happy to help you, but I'm just going to point you to the people who can actually help you. So I would say reach out to Carnage Media, Carnage Fight Series, or Wade or Zach if you're interested or representing someone who is interested in fighting in these tournaments. We would certainly love to have you. Now, folks, we couldn't really talk much about the upcoming Ruthless Made Promotions event while we had all the fighters here, right? Like we're obviously not gonna make any predictions. That's not our job. We're not analysts, but we can give you a preview, maybe talk about some of the fights that we are looking forward to. Clayton, Wade, obviously we've got the shakeup on the main event, but other than that, are there any fights? Obviously, we want to highlight the fighters that we just had on, but what else is on this card that we are looking forward to? Ruthless Made Promotions will be boxing this Saturday, October 21st. You can watch it on Carnage Media pay-per-view. Check out our socials for the link or the QR code. But back to my question, gentlemen. Any fights in particular that stick out to you, Clayton?
I still think that Connor and Preston running it back because that was a good fight. It was a close fight that we called last time on Carnage Fight Series, but overall, I want to see him run it back. Like Connor said, it seemed he thinks that most of Preston's damage came from kicks, and this isn't kickboxing. You can't throw kicks, right? So we're going to see really who has the better hands, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, when you take that part away, it's a different ball game. So, Wade, what about you? Do you agree, or is there another fight that's catching your eye that you want to highlight?
I mean, that's going to be a phenomenal fight. I mean, we got to see it once with kicks and that dynamic. Now to see it in just straight up, you got the head movement, you got the hands to back it up kind of deal. That's going to be a great fight. But for the sake of adding some other fights in there for you guys to watch out for. I'm thinking Peyton Spurlock versus Zane Ginter. Yeah, Peyton fought on our card, CFS 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a great fight.
Yeah, had a great fight, and yeah, so I think it's gonna be a great fight. I don't know much about Zane Ginter, but just seeing the poster that that they posted out there, like if you just go off of looks, it looks like it's gonna be a banger. Because I already know Peyton can throw, and the other guy looks like he's ready to go. So I wanted to highlight that fight because for some reason I just get a feeling that that's gonna be some swinging and banging.
No doubt about it. I'm getting the others there. We've got Charlie Brackney and Atlas Jackson. I think we've got a youth fight to start things off. Let me see. Isaac Alsop, Kyle Barga. We've got Jeremy Swiger and Tyshawn Brooks. Of course, Lauren Flynn and Sydney Leith, who we got to talk to earlier. So be sure, if you're just joining us now, go and watch from the beginning. You'll get to see us chat with all of the fighters. We've got Edric Bax and Josh Bales, and then, of course, Bryce Childs. And so there's no update as of this moment, right, Wade, as far as who we're going to get to replace Quentin. So be on the lookout there. Go ahead and follow Ruthless Made Promotions on Facebook. I'm sure that's going to be where you'll get the update first and foremost. And then we have Joe Drinkwater versus Colton Beggar. Now, that's a name that we saw on Saturday, right, Clayton?
Run that by me again, Kev.
Colton Beggar. That's
right. You're right. That was fight number 2, correct?
Yeah, we got to see that. So I think that's going to be that's another good matchup I want to highlight because I thought he put on a good performance as well at Mindless Mania Boxing Series 7. You guys agree?
I agree.
He fought Jack Farrar, correct? If my memory serves me right.
That I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds correct. I can get my sheet.
A tough kid.
You guys know I have a sheet.
Always have a sheet.
I keep the sheet from every event we ever do. I'm like Jim Cornette in that way and that way only. Maybe a love for Wendy's as well, but we're not talking about that. Oh, we've got plenty of, wow, this card is stacked, guys. We've also got, it says here we got Ricky Blue Stanley versus Alec Gasagi, who we've again had the pleasure of calling some of his fights. We've got Hatham Nasir versus Jake Lee, who again another we've called some MMA fights of his, and then Peyton Spurlock, Zane Ginter, as you mentioned, and I think that rounds it out. My sincere apologies if I missed anyone. I just pulled up the Facebook card here, so hopefully we got to everyone. But needless to say, it's going to be a loaded and a stocked card on Saturday. We can't wait to bring you all of the action. What else do we have on the agenda today, gentlemen? Of course, we have my little indie segment I have to slip in by the end of the night. But anything else in the wild world of combat sports you guys want to discuss?
I would love to talk about UFC 294 this weekend, actually. So,
okay,
let's do it.
I think I'll go ahead and take that away. So after we concluded on Monday, I went to bed pretty early. My Tuesdays I get up pretty early. And I wake up and I check my phone and it says that Paulo Costa is now out of the fight. He's had elbow surgery. He's not coming in. We got to find an opponent for Khamzat Chimaev, right? One of the best non-champions in the UFC right now. How do you find a 185 opponent for a guy like that, an undefeated prospect who's killed everybody that he's faced?
Yeah.
Well, one of the best welterweights of all time, save for GSP, the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman, jumping up a weight class to take on Khamzat Chimaev. Those guys down in American Top Team are going to be prepared, but that is a fight, man.
Yeah, I think it's a better
skill set. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think Khamzat would have just destroyed Paulo Costa personally, barring some Hail Mary right hand, right? But two wrestlers going at it lead to some great fights. Look at Kamaru versus Colby. Those are both great.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited for this weekend. Wade, what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited too. Like, I feel like the card has gotten exponentially better. I mean, Charles Oliveira against Islam would have been a great fight too. I love Charles and his story and how he's just freaking came back for a second wind of his career and just been so dominant. And for them to run it back would have been a great fight, but I'm on the Volk train. I am.
You think? How did you have the first fight?
I had Volk winning it. I thought he won 3 of the rounds, and the other 2 he lost just by control time. Obviously, just how the judges judge, and that's how I had 3-2 Volk. He was doing more of the damage, and Islam was just basically trying to hold him down, and Volk was getting up or actively trying to get up and getting some damage on him. So I felt like he was the more active and more precise fighter, and he cracked Islam.
Oh my God, yeah. The 5th round, only knockdown of the fight. That was just...
Yeah.
You've never seen anybody do that to Islam since, obviously, he has that one, fluke loss, right, early in his UFC career. I think that was his 2nd fight. But nobody does that to Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
No,
Volk made him look human.
Yeah. And nobody's been able to do that. He took out Dan Hooker. He's taken out Drew Dober, all those guys. So it was, but realistically, I was sitting in the B-dubs in Bowling Green. I'm watching the fight. And when it went to the judges, I really thought, not because of damage or anything else, but strictly based off of his control time, that Islam got him. I'm not saying that, if it was judged as a whole, if I fell asleep, woke up, ended the fight, and I looked at them, Volk would have won, right? Volk definitely did more damage the entire time. So overall, I think not based off of what I like to see in a fight, but based off of what MMA judges look for, I think that Islam
which I think that is a flaw though. I get control time, it definitely does matter. But if your control time is just holding on to legs and just hold them there and not advancing or trying to cause damage, there gotta be it's hard to it's that gray area, but I just feel like it shouldn't be as much value there.
A great example of that would be Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan, right?
Yeah.
Same principle. Petr Yan, I think he took him down 6 times, but he didn't do anything with it. And Sean pieced him up on the feet. Like I said, if you would have turned that TV off and flipped it back on, who's going to win?
Yeah.
So I think I'm very excited. We got such a great main and co-main. This card got better.
It did.
For sure.
I'll speak for Zach on this one. He says, I can respect that, but I have Volk in the first fight, and I'm taking him for the second one too. So,
hey, I'm always rooting for Volk. I'm a big Wade. You know this. We're both big Holloway guys, but as the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, you got to join them.
You're right.
I'm on the Volk train. UFC 294, double champ. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Kev, I think it's your time to shine.
Yeah, I look forward to watching that after our event wraps up. I think that may have decided my post RMP travel plans, as soon as we get the truck packed up. Oh,
before you can watch it before the fights because they're in Abu Dhabi this weekend.
Oh, let's go. Yes, that's great. So yes, that's great. I'll be watching it. Might get a little reaction from me before we go live. That's fantastic. I am looking forward to that about as much as I am looking forward to the favorite segment of one Mr. Zach. Yes, that's right. It is time for the Wrestling Minute, brought to you by, of course, Carnage Media, but our friends at Bite Size Sports and the future podcast, the upcoming Wrestling Hour. Be on the lookout. All right, I'm going to do this thing for real. Zach says we'll be watching 294 while we set up. Absolutely. Yep. Figure that day out. So the new word really in the wrestling world, it's kind of the same as the old, CM Punk, for those of you who know, he's been getting teased a lot. Like the WWE is going out of their way. They're making references to stuff that CM Punk said in Ring of Honor, which even I haven't watched a lot of. You know what I mean? Like even OG marks like me don't always watch all of some of this stuff that they're making reference to the most internet of internet fans while publicly, and they are telling all journalists that, oh yeah, there's no deal. They're not coming close to a deal. Yet every single episode, whether it be NXT, WWE, Raw, Friday or Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, pay-per-views, once a show, they are making some kind of CM Punk reference. So he's a known Chicago native. The idea is that he will be back for Survivor Series in Chicago, and that it will be a nice fallback because, gentlemen, now that the writer's strike is coming to an end, there's almost no chance that The Rock comes back for WrestleMania. So this whole idea that The Rock would come back and they do all this big money, because that's the thing. And this is more relevant now than it ever has been with the UFC and the WWE being owned by the same company, because they are actively kind of trying to hotshot the WWE right now because, you know, they needed to look well. They needed to look like it was a good idea for us to spend all this money on this product. So hence, that's why you've seen the Undertaker came out of retirement to make a spot. You know, that's one of the reasons they're like, oh, hey, John Cena, there's a writer's strike. Want to come work full time as a wrestler during your break? Like, yeah, there's a reason they're pulling out all these stops. So I find it to be very interesting that, unfortunately, for the sport of wrestling, which I love, it seems like the most entertaining thing that they can do is call up old guys out of retirement and bring them back for big events. So we really need to work on creating some new stars. Now, AEW is trying to do that, but which brings me to the end of the Wrestling Minute, because this is where I can kind of flip this. I can tell you two about a situation, and we can talk about it as people who are in a very similar business on a much smaller scale. But here's where we go. So AEW president, founder, chairman, whatever, Tony Khan, son of Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shad Khan, has recently gotten real personal with a bunch of no-name Twitter accounts, and be honest, a bunch of people who have their avatars or their favorite wrestler. You know, they've got 20 followers and, you know, they're basically just shouting into a void. But for whatever reason, Tony Khan has decided that business has now gotten personal. And he is actively saying things like, I hate these WWE fans. He made a because he decided to tell a story. It was the anniversary of his mom having surgery, and he told some story about that. Now, that was the day business became personal for me. And of course, because it's Twitter, then there are people who live just to piss you off and get those interactions.
Of
Like
course.
people said some very disgusting things that I would never approve of, but you don't, you know, I was always taught, like, you don't roll around in the mud with the pigs, right? Like they enjoy it. They're a lot more apt to it than you are. You're just going to end up looking like an idiot. So this guy, as the owner of a, I guess, multi-million-dollar business. I mean, we're talking, they're on TBS, TNT. It's no small thing, right?
Right.
What do you guys think about this, about the owner of that business getting in? Basically, it'd almost be like if he were in here in our chat, you know, shit talking some of our viewers here. Like it's a little much, I think, to be getting in there with just every single viewer that you have, but I might be alone here. Do you guys think this is a bad strategy, or do you think this is going to drum up some business?
I play devil's advocate here. I think it could be a publicity stunt, right? Like,
is it a work, brother? Is it kayfabe? That's a word now. It's in the dictionary.
Is it just to get people talking? You never know. Like, good or bad, publicity is publicity. So that could be his tactic. But honestly, in my view, I wouldn't be wasting time on that.
I'd hire wrestlers to go in character and do that stuff for me, because that's what their job is. My job would be to be the president of a company and to not tell anyone that I hate them. Because as you know, to paraphrase what Michael Jordan once said, everybody buys sneakers. You know, everybody is a potential wrestling fan. So for you to go out there and start fights with people because they don't currently like your product, instead of saying, hey, you know, I appreciate your feedback. And I wouldn't say, I would never go on someone on Twitter and say, I appreciate your feedback. No, that's not the game you're playing.
That's
But you
not
can,
what Twitter's for.
right? But you can take criticism and say, okay, let me actually, and a lot of people are saying this. So instead of getting mad at them, maybe I should try to do things a little differently. And maybe my business might do a little bit better, instead of burying your head in the sand and saying, oh, well, we're doing just fine. You guys just hate us. It's like, well, the numbers don't care who you are. The numbers are just the numbers, and people are making fun of your numbers, and that's fine. Don't listen to them. They're idiots. What are they doing? They're spending all their time on Twitter. What the hell are they doing? Why would you talk to them? You got a business to fix. All right, go fix your business. So that's just my thoughts on that. So that is our Wrestling Minute, brought to you by the Wrestling Hour, which will probably never be invited to an AEW post-match press scrum and after this. So we are also hiring at the Wrestling Hour for any AEW fans that can smooth things over.
That's awesome.
That's all I had for you there, gentlemen. Is there anything else? We have cracked the hour mark. Again, I want to say a special thank you to the fighters that joined us. If any of them are still watching, those of you who came for the fighters and stayed for us, we really hope you liked it. Give us a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you could, so you catch not only all of our live streams, but if you go subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will get to see these fights. If you can't make it on the day of the event, or if you can't buy the pay-per-view, then the fights will be released later on. You can go back and catch these fights, or better yet, if you want to see what Sydney or Connor or some of these folks look like, go to our YouTube channel right now and you can find them. We have multiple fights from these fighters. You can go see what they've done before and get yourself hyped up for these events. I know that we will be hyped. So go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Patreon coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, anything else, Wade? I'll pass it to you. You got anything for the folks at home?
Nope. Just thank you for viewing. If you viewed, and if you know someone that hasn't viewed, go get them to come watch. You can find us on YouTube, Carnage Media. You find us on Facebook, Carnage Media. Find us on Instagram, Carnage Media PPV, as well as Twitter, Carnage Media PPV, and Discord, Carnage Media. And as Kev said, Patreon coming soon.
That is right. Clayton, what about you? Where can the fine folks at home find you, sir?
Well, I'm going to take a page out of AEW's book. You guys can find my Twitter at cscalina12. Start an argument with me. That's a challenge to everybody watching this. Start an MMA argument with me. I don't care what your stance is. I'll play devil's advocate, I promise. But in all seriousness, you can find me on all my social medias at cscalina12. Make sure to check out my podcast at Hot Take Sports. Find us on all our socials at Hot Take Sports 16 and give us a listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys listen to your podcasts. One of my friends finally gave up on Mac Jones last week, so make sure that you listen to my buddy Brady come to terms with reality. And speaking of reality, I want to give a shout out to my Cleveland Browns. I was at the game yesterday in Cleveland, watched us beat the 49ers live and in person. One of my favorite sporting events I've ever been to. It was so much fun.
That had to be quite an experience. Yeah. Shout out. Go check out their podcast. And when you're done, go check out the Bite Size Sports channel. We've got podcasts running all throughout the week. If you like NFL stuff, cool. We've got Necessary Roughness tomorrow. We've got The Bounce on Thursdays with me and two of my friends talking NBA, our big season preview. The NBA season is upon us. So if you want to know what the season is going to look like, make sure you go subscribe to Bite Size Sports. We also have team-specific NFL pods for the Colts, the Titans, the Bears, the Vikings. You can see we're a little Midwestern based, but we are branching out. So give us a shout over everywhere you can find the internet at Bite Size Sports. And meanwhile, you can find me on Twitter at KevNevick_. So that is it for us. Once again, you can see us on Saturday, Carnage Media, Ruthless Made Promotions Boxing. Go find the social media link for the pay-per-view if you want to hear us talk about it, or go see it live. And until then, thank you all so much, and we'll see you next Monday, guys. Am I right?
Yes.
Of course.